Today, we're going to talk about copyright laws in Canada. Welcome to the video. Hope you're doing well. If you're new here, my name is Mike. If you're a returning viewer, my name is still Mike, but you knew that already. I'm a Transport Canada certified RPAS pilot, or drone pilot if you prefer, thermographer, videographer, and photographer. I'm not a lawyer, nor do I play one on TV, and I'm not in a position to offer legal advice. This is just my take on the Canadian copyright laws as I see them. Now, I would suggest at this point, you pause the video, go use the washroom, maybe grab a beverage and a snack, and then get comfy and resume watching, because it's going to be a long one. So recently, I had this photo stolen. I know who did it and what they did with the photograph, and that they are no longer using it, but I feel like this kind of thing should not be happening in this day and age. I was very upset at the time, but I managed to restrain myself enough that while this person is upset that they can't use my photo, they are not super mad at me. So I'm going to go through some of the basic Canadian copyright law as it pertains to photographers. If you live in a different country, this may not be the video you want to watch. As a photographer in Canada, up until 2012, if I took a picture as part of my employment or for compensation, I did not own the copyright. The copyright owner was the person or corporation that hired me to take the picture. Other artists held their respective copyrights, but photographers were thought of as technicians and not artists. That all changed on November 7th, 2012, when BC 11 was passed into law. Now every time I press the shutter release button, I own the copyrights for the image that was created, no matter who paid me to take the picture, and my estate retains the copyright for 50 years after I die. This new act does limit photographers and other artists in certain ways, so it's not all sunshine and lollipops. For example, in the case of a private order for a photograph or image made by an individual for non-commercial purposes, the person who makes the order has the right to reproduce the photo as they see fit, without the photographer's authorization. This person has the right to authorize anyone to do the same. They may print as many copies as they wish, distribute them, or even publish them on the internet without limit. Now, we're talking about personal portraits, artist portraits, wedding photos, family photos, or any photos not used in a promotional or commercial context. Commercial use is still prohibited without the author's authorization. There is, however, a relatively simple workaround for this in the form of a clause in the contract stating no reproduction is permitted without the photographer's written authorization. And in Canada, both parties have to sign the contract for it to be valid. If the customer won't sign a contract, I probably won't work for them. Educational institutes were required to pay royalties for each use of copyright protected work. For the time being, they no longer have to do this. The Copyright Modernization Act, or the former Bill C-11, appears to authorize the use of any work in an educational context free of charge and without prior permission, even if these works are protected by copyright. So photographers who want to prevent schools and teachers from using their images free of charge have no other choice than to protect them with a digital lock, such as a file access code and password. The Copyright Amendment Act makes it illegal to bypass these protective locks, and since this prohibition prevails over the exemption, the Canadian educational system must comply with it. So now we'll touch briefly on social media. One question I've gotten: if I post my work, do other users get to use it for free? Yes, but only for limited purposes. Most social media sites require you to permit other users to repost, copy, and modify your content for their personal use, or for uses related to the website, such as liking, sharing, and pinning. This limited license to repost and copy your work does not include the right to sell or use it for commercial purposes. Due to these recent changes in the Canadian Copyright Act, others may now use your work to create new works so long as their use is non-commercial, their use does not affect the market or potential market for your work, the user has reasonable ground to believe that your work is itself an infringement of copyright, and the user cites the source and creator. That last point is what got my thief into trouble. They copied and pasted my image onto their Facebook page as the cover photo and did not cite me as the source. Not only that, but they accepted compliments from their friends and family, as if they took the picture themselves. That's what really upset me. So now I hear you asking, well, how can I protect my work? Well, there's a few ways. First, you can apply a digital lock to all your images, but that means if you have a website, you will never rank on Google search because your site cannot be indexed. Also, it'll be pretty darn tough to post to social media. Secondly, and the way I've decided to go, is a watermark. You can also drive home the point by adding the phrase, "No part of this art or its image may be copied, reproduced, transmitted, licensed, or otherwise used for any purpose without prior permission from the artist." Another thing to think about is what's in your background of your pictures or videos. If you post a picture or video to the internet while standing in front of a copyrighted piece of artwork, the artist could come after you for copyright infringement. That is why you'll see logos and slogans either removed or blurred in YouTube videos, TV shows, and movies. Any logo you see in the latest blockbuster or your favorite sitcom or the latest video from your favorite YouTube creator has been paid for. Just something to think about. So hopefully you got some useful information from this video. If you want more information, feel free to contact me in whichever manner you are the most comfortable. Also, if you don't mind, on your way out of the video, if you could hit one of the thumbs, preferably the one pointed up, it does help out a lot. Leave a comment if you would like a deeper dive into this topic, and if I have provided you with some value, please consider subscribing. You can also follow Gradient Imaging on Facebook and Instagram. Links will be in the description. So until next time, bye-bye.